Let's take a wonderful honeymoon to the Tower of Babel. What could possibly go wrong? Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always, I'm Andrew, and today I've got another book review for you. But before we get to that book review, make sure you're liking and subscribing and hitting that bell notification so you can get regular updates for when I put out new content. I post every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And that said, today I am reviewing Baboosh, Senlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft. And this is book one in the books of Babel or Babel? I'm unsure. Everybody says Babel, but the narrator in the book says Babel. So we'll see what happens. It's either Babel or Babel. But this is going to be my non-spoiler review of this very, very interesting book. And I really enjoyed Senlin Ascends. I was thoroughly surprised because it's been so hyped. My expectations were really high. And I don't know if it fully met my expectations, but it came really close. So let's kind of get into it. So essentially, this is just a fantastical world. This isn't quite what I would consider fantasy. If anything, this is a steampunk book. It's very heavy on steampunk, with just, there's actual steam machines, there's guns, there's like little contraptions. And so it feels, even on the cover, you can see all the steam. So for me, this falls more onto fantastical steampunk, subgenre of fantasy, which I wasn't really expecting. Also, because this is essentially the tale of just a schoolmaster from an outlying village going on a honeymoon to the Tower of Babel with his wife Mariah, his new wife Mariah. And, like, literally, it just all goes to hell. And essentially, the problem is that the outside world has this, like, fantastical version, or a view of the Tower of Babel. And then when you get there, you find out that everything that you know about the Tower of Babel is just wrong. Literally, all the guidebooks, everything are just completely misleading. Like, there might be, like, kernels of truth in there, but not really. And so we've got Senlin and Mariah literally showing up to the tower and getting separated incredibly quickly. And Thomas is really just this kind of stodgy, just priggish, he's like an older gentleman who's married a younger woman, and he's like fallen head over heels in love with I think she was a former pupil of his or something. But like, he's just mortified, like, what are my people going to say that I've lost my wife? And they had this joke that, if we get separated, we'll just meet at the top of the tower. And so, literally, he waits 3 days at the bottom of the tower, can't find her, and so he starts making his way through. Only to realize that the tower corrupts people. Literally, almost it's like the tower is where people go to let their hope and dreams and humanity wither and die. But Thomas, through just being morally, I don't know if it's a moral fortitude or if he's just stubborn. Basically, he's like, no, there is good in people. It can't be like this. Like, there's got to be what about your humanity? And that's what really drives this story. Something that did surprise me is this book is a lot darker than I thought it would be. It's not grimdark or anything like that. But there are moments where you're just like, oh, I've not heard any of that associated with this book. I mean, like, there's blood, there is gore, there is killings, there is corruption, there are, like, gangsters, there's just all sorts of debauchery. Not from Thomas, but from the world around him. Thomas is very much a pillar of just morality. It's everybody else around him, and he's just trying to, like, make friends with these people and show them that, no, like, that you can be a good person in the tower. All you've got to do is not let the tower break you. And so, I mean, we've got a very large cast of characters here. I believe we travel through 3 or 4 levels of the tower in Senlin. But we meet Taru in the baths. We meet Edith in the parlor. We meet Adam and Goal in the basement. And then we also meet Ogier in the baths. Yeah, we meet Ogier in the baths as well as the commissioner. Now, the commissioner is who I would consider one of the main antagonists. I don't want to get into that, but basically, the commissioner is just like, I picture him as like this short, gnomish guy with like allergies who everybody's afraid of because he wields power. That may not be what he's like at all, but that's what he is in my head. Then let's start from the basement. So in the basement we meet Adam and Goal. So basically Adam meets Senlin outside of the tower after he loses Mariah. And he's just like, nah, like, if you look the wrong way here, because it's an ever-changing landscape, you're never going to find your friends again. And literally the bottom tower is just ringed with lost notes of people who can't find their loved ones. And, like, there's people, he's just like, yeah, I lost my sister, like, 2 years ago. I'm still looking for her. And Senlin's just like, oh, God, I got to be back at my job in, like, 4 weeks. Or something like that. And he's like, well, let's go inside, and then we can start looking for her. And promptly things just go awry. Adam robs him, and then just disappears. After that, he meets a man by the name of Goal, who is hawking the stuff that Adam has given him. And Goal starts going, you can't really trust anybody in the tower. The tower is completely corrupt. And so, like, Senlin just starts making his way through the tower. And from the tower, he meets Edith, because basically he makes it to the parlor, where they do, like, reenactments and plays, and it's full of actors. And, of course, everything goes wrong there as well. And then he makes it up to the baths, where he meets Taru. Taru is this kind of aristocratic gentleman who's been around the baths for a while. Seems to be some sort of mystery around him. Tied in there is Ogier. Ogier is this artist who is kind of wary of Senlin, but, like, kind of wants to help him. And then they meet the commissioner, who just kind of runs everything. He's this powerful, rich man who likes art, but, like, doesn't like any sort of scent, and he's kind of stodgy as well. And then in I believe the 4th level, which is New Babel, we meet Irene. And Irene is like this giant, husky, Amazonian woman who is kind of antagonistic towards Senlin because she's an enforcer for people on the 4th level. And Senlin's just trying to kind of teach her, you know, hey, you are more than you think you can be. And that's really the through line here, is Senlin kind of taking these people and going, no, believe in yourself, believe in honesty, believe in humanity, believe in love. Choose to be the better person. And that's kind of like Senlin is struggling and fighting to not only find Mariah, not only save her and bring her home, but also to, like, make friends and build this small community, this little found family around him, just through perseverance. And it's fantastic. There is one little issue that some people may have with Senlin Ascends, and it's not with Senlin itself, it's with the world around. I did mention debauchery, and literally to be a woman in the tower is a bad thing. A lot of them are used in the flesh trade. They are used for entertainment. They are bought, they are sold, they are wooed, they are, like, treated as commodities. And Senlin's like, no, I love my wife, I'm going to get my wife, and we are going to go home, back to our lives. It's very, very, it feels very 30s or, like, late 1800s, where, like, that you do not have a lot of rights, the women do not have a lot of free agency. God forbid a woman goes into debt in the tower. And so that may bug some people, but, like, Senlin is fighting against that, and he makes a lot of female friends and empowers them, which is the other side of the coin that I really, really enjoyed here. It's good pacing, but I didn't immediately click with Senlin right out of the gate. He's very, 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 very just stoic, and I keep saying priggish, but he is. At the very beginning of the book. And so it took a little while for the book to grab me. After about 100 pages, and once he had made it kind of past the 2nd level, once we reached the baths, which I think is, well, the parlor's the 2nd level, and the baths are the 3rd. Yeah, so the 3rd level. Once we reach the 3rd level, I'm in it for the ride. I'm identifying with Senlin a lot more, and he's really working as a main character for me. And he's just using his wits and guile, and you really get to see Senlin grow. Like, literally, he went from, like, I was like, oh, this guy's kind of just irritating. And then with each level, he kind of grows a little bit because he's constantly forced outside of his kind of comfort zone, and he's got to adapt. And that's fantastic, guys. It's so fantastic. I ended up giving this book, I think, a 4.5 out of 5. Literally, the last third to 2/3 of this book were just fantastic. I flew through the pages. And it's not super big, so it's got all of those things that I've mentioned. And I think it's like a 430 page book or something like that. Let's take a look. Oh, sorry, 380. This is only 380 pages with pretty decent sized font. And Josiah Bancroft managed to fit a whole lot into this book. So, I highly recommend you pick up Senlin Ascends. It is not strictly fantasy, but the tower itself seems to be a tad bit fantastical with a lot of steampunk themes. Go ahead, pick it up, do yourself a favor. I think you'll really enjoy this book. So, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of Senlin Ascends. What did you think of the entire books of Babel? I'm starting Arm of the Sphinx next month. Arm of the Sphinx next month. So I'd really want to know if I'm in for a good time. No spoilers, just general of thumbs up or, yeah, I loved it, you're in for a treat, that kind of nonsense. Let me know in the comments down below. Or if you want to talk on a more regular basis, go ahead and check that description for the link to the Wizzly Duo Discord. We would love to have you. So, till next time, guys, peace out, stay magical.